The next 6 months can either be the most disciplined, focused, and life-changing months of your life, or just another half year of excuses. The choice is yours. Most people don't fail because they're incapable. They fail because they never give themselves a real chance. They start, they stop, they try, they quit, they make plans, but they don't follow through, and then they wonder why they're stuck in the same place year after year. But here's the truth: 6 months of relentless effort can put you years ahead in life. The problem is, most people never commit to that kind of effort. They wait for motivation. They hope things will magically get better. But time doesn't wait. 6 months will pass whether you use them wisely or waste them. And when that time is gone, you don't get it back. But imagine if you made a decision today, right now, to give yourself 6 months of pure discipline. No distractions, no excuses, no quitting halfway. 6 months where you replace entertainment with education, where you prepare for setbacks instead of letting them break you, where you take control of your finances, your habits, your time, and your mindset. 6 months where you stop playing small and start building a life you can be proud of. If you do that, I guarantee you won't recognize yourself by the end of it. You will have proof, real proof, that you are capable of change, not just in your head, but in your results, in your bank account, in your health, in your discipline. And once you see what's possible, you'll never go back to the old version of you again. This is not about motivation, it's about a decision to stop living on autopilot and start moving with purpose. The next 6 months are going to pass no matter what, but whether they change your life or not, that's up to you. Let's get started. Number 1, replace entertainment with education. Give yourself 6 months and watch your life change forever. That's not just a promise, it's a fact. But only if you make the right changes. Only if you take control of the things that are controlling you. And one of the biggest things holding people back today is entertainment. Not because entertainment is bad, but because most people have made it their full-time habit. They wake up and check their phones before they even get out of bed. They spend hours scrolling through social media, watching TV, playing video games, consuming content that gives them nothing in return. And then they wonder why their lives aren't improving. They wonder why they feel stuck. They wonder why every year looks the same as the last. If you want real change, you have to start feeding your mind something different. Because the truth is, the content you consume will shape your future. Think about it. If you spend most of your time watching meaningless videos, celebrity gossip, or endless entertainment, what are you really learning? What skills are you building? What knowledge are you gaining? The answer is nothing. You're not growing, you're not improving, and you're not getting closer to the life you want. But if you replace just a portion of that entertainment with education, everything starts to change. You start thinking differently. You start seeing new opportunities. You start making better decisions because now your mind is being filled with ideas that push you forward instead of distractions that hold you back. Most people don't even realize how much time they waste every single day. Hours and hours of passive entertainment, doing nothing but consuming things that will be forgotten by tomorrow. But time is the one thing you can never get back. And if you keep spending it on things that don't move you forward, you'll wake up 6 months from now in the exact same place. Only this time, you'll be filled with regret. You'll wish you had used your time better. You'll wish you had started sooner. And that feeling, that deep frustration of knowing you could have done more, is one of the worst feelings in the world. But the good news is, you don't have to feel that way. You can start changing right now. The first step is simple. Take an honest look at how much time you're spending on entertainment versus education. And I mean really look. Track your screen time. Pay attention to how often you reach for your phone. Notice how many hours go into watching shows, playing games, or scrolling mindlessly. When you see the real numbers, you'll be shocked. You'll realize that time wasn't just disappearing, it was being given away, little by little, every single day. And once you see it, you can start to take it back. Now, I'm not saying you should cut out entertainment completely. Everyone needs a break, and sometimes a little relaxation is good for you. But the key is balance. You don't need 3 hours of TV every night. You don't need to check social media every 15 minutes. You don't need to fill every quiet moment with something meaningless. What you need is to make education a bigger part of your daily routine. Because once you do, you'll start to see changes faster than you ever thought possible. Imagine this. Instead of watching TV before bed, you read 10 pages of a book that teaches you something valuable. Instead of scrolling through social media first thing in the morning, you listen to an audiobook about success, discipline, or financial freedom. Instead of playing video games for hours, you take an online course that helps you develop a new skill. It might not seem like a big deal at first, but over time, these small changes add up. If you read just 10 pages a day, in 6 months, you'll have finished 6 or 7 life-changing books. If you watch one educational video a day instead of random entertainment, that's over 180 hours of learning in 6 months. If you replace just 1 hour of entertainment with education every day, that's 30 hours a month, 280 hours in 6 months. That's the kind of time investment that can change your life. That's the kind of learning that can get you a better job, a new opportunity, or a completely new way of thinking. The reason most people never change is that they never make time for growth. They say they want success, but they spend their free time on distractions instead of development. They say they want more money, but they never take the time to learn new skills. They say they want a better life, but they waste the life they already have on things that don't matter. 6 months from now, you will either be in the same place, making the same excuses, or you will be ahead, wiser, stronger, more capable. And that choice is entirely up to you. Now, at first, it won't be easy. Your mind is used to the constant stimulation of entertainment. It craves the quick hit of dopamine that comes from scrolling, watching, and consuming. And when you first start replacing that with learning, it might feel slow, it might feel boring, but that's because you're retraining your brain. You're shifting your focus from mindless consumption to purposeful growth. And once you get past that initial resistance, once you start seeing the benefits, you'll never want to go back. Because here's what happens when you start replacing entertainment with education. You begin to see the world differently. You start recognizing opportunities you never noticed before. You become more confident because now you have knowledge and skills that make you valuable. You start making better decisions because now your mind is filled with solutions instead of distractions. You start feeling more in control of your life because now you're actively creating your future instead of wasting your time. And here's the best part. 6 months from now, when you look back, you won't miss the entertainment you gave up. You won't wish you had watched more TV. You won't wish you had spent more time scrolling through social media. But you will be grateful for the books you read. You will be proud of the skills you developed. You'll be excited about the progress you made, because now you're not just passing time, you're using it to build a better life. So ask yourself this: what do you want 6 months from now? Do you want to look back and see nothing but wasted time? Or do you want to look back and see real growth? Do you want to be stuck in the same place, or do you want to be further ahead than you ever imagined? The choice is yours. Start today. Replace entertainment with education, and 6 months from now, you won't believe how much your life has changed. Number 2, prepare for setbacks. Don't let small failures make you quit. You're going to face setbacks. There's no avoiding that. No matter how hard you work, no matter how much you plan, no matter how disciplined you are, life will throw challenges in your way. That's just the reality of success. And the difference between the people who make it and the people who quit is simple. The ones who make it don't let those setbacks stop them. They expect them. They prepare for them. And when they come, they don't break down. They push through. The reason most people fail isn't because they're not talented. It's not because they're not capable. It's because the moment things get tough, they start questioning themselves. They start doubting if they have what it takes. They start telling themselves, maybe this isn't for them. And that's when they give up, not because they couldn't succeed, but because they convinced themselves it wasn't possible. And that's the biggest mistake you can ever make, because if you just keep going, if you just push through the difficult moments, success is always waiting on the other side. Most people love the idea of success. They love the idea of changing their life. They get excited, they get motivated, they start strong, but the moment they hit a challenge, the moment they don't see results right away, the moment something goes wrong, they slow down, they hesitate, they start to think, maybe this isn't working, maybe it's not meant for me, maybe I should stop. And that's where most people fail. Not because they weren't good enough, but because they stopped too soon. You have to prepare for setbacks. You have to know they're coming, because when you do, they won't break you. They won't make you doubt yourself. They won't make you quit. Instead, they'll make you stronger. They'll teach you. They'll sharpen you. They'll separate you from the people who don't have the patience, the discipline, or the commitment to keep going. Think about how many people have quit right before their breakthrough. How many people have stopped just before things were about to change? How many people have walked away from their dreams simply because they let one setback convince them it wasn't possible? You don't want to be one of those people, because if you quit now, you'll never know how close you were. And that regret, that feeling of knowing you could have done more, is worse than any failure you'll ever experience. Success is not about avoiding failure. It's about moving forward despite failure. It's about understanding that every setback is a lesson, every mistake is part of the process, and every obstacle is just another test to see how bad you really want it. If you can push through the tough moments, if you can keep going when everything in you wants to stop, you will win. Because the truth is, the people who succeed aren't the ones who never fail. They're the ones who never quit. You have to change the way you see failure. Most people take failure personally. They think it means they're not good enough. They think it means they don't have what it takes. But failure doesn't mean that at all. Failure is just feedback. It's just life showing you what you need to improve. It's just another step on the path to success. Every person who has ever achieved anything great has failed over and over again, but they didn't let it stop them. They learned, they adjusted, and they kept going. If you're serious about changing your life, you have to develop this mindset. You have to stop expecting things to be easy. You have to stop thinking everything will go perfectly. Because the moment you accept that setbacks are part of the journey, they lose their power over you. They stop being things that break you, and they start being things that build you. And here's something most people don't realize. Setbacks are actually a good thing, because they force you to grow. They force you to get better. They force you to develop the skills, the mindset, and the strength you need to handle success when it comes. Without setbacks, you wouldn't be ready for success. Without struggles, you wouldn't develop the toughness to keep success once you get it. Think about it. If everything came easy, if everything worked out perfectly from the start, you wouldn't value it. You wouldn't appreciate it. And the moment things got tough, you'd fall apart, because you wouldn't be strong enough to handle it. But when you go through setbacks, when you experience failure and keep going, you become unshakable. You develop the kind of resilience that no challenge, no obstacle, no difficulty can ever break. So the next time you face a setback, don't see it as a reason to quit. See it as a test. See it as life asking you, how bad do you really want this? And your answer should always be, I want it bad enough to keep going. Because that's the difference between those who win and those who don't. Not talent, not luck, just the ability to keep going when things get hard. Every setback is an opportunity to learn, an opportunity to grow, an opportunity to prove to yourself that you are stronger than any challenge. And if you embrace that, if you refuse to let failure stop you, if you keep moving forward no matter what, 6 months from now, you won't even recognize yourself, because you'll have become the kind of person who doesn't quit. And that kind of person is unstoppable. Number 3, control your finances. Stop wasting money and start investing in yourself. Money controls more of your life than you realize. Every single day, your choices are shaped by how much you have, how much you don't have, and how much you wish you had. If you're struggling financially, it affects your confidence, your opportunities, and even your peace of mind. If you don't take control of your money will take control of you. And if you want the next 6 months of your life to be different, if you want real change, you must stop wasting money on things that don't move you forward and start investing in yourself. Most people don't even realize how much money they're throwing away. A little here, a little there, and before they know it, they're stuck in the same place wondering why they can't get ahead. It's the daily habits that add up. The unnecessary spending, the impulse purchases, the money spent on things that bring temporary comfort but no long-term value. It's one thing to treat yourself. It's another to be reckless with your future. You have to ask yourself, is what I'm spending money on helping me, or is it keeping me stuck? Because every dollar you waste is a dollar you could have used to build the life you want. It's easy to blame your financial problems on not having enough money, But the truth is, it's not just about how much you make. It's about what you do with what you have. There are people making millions who are still broke. There are people making average incomes who are wealthy. The difference is how they manage their money. If you can't control a small income, you won't control a large one. If you don't develop discipline with what you have now, more money won't fix the problem. You don't get rich by accident. You don't become financially free by luck. It happens when you take responsibility for every dollar that comes in and every dollar that goes out. If you want to change your life, you have to start thinking long term. Stop living paycheck to paycheck. Stop spending every extra dollar on things that don't matter. A year from now, start making smart decisions. Every dollar you have is a tool, and you have two choices. Use it to build or use it to destroy. Every time you buy something, you're making a choice between your future and your present comfort. And if you keep choosing comfort, don't be surprised when your future looks just like your past. The fastest way to get ahead is to start investing in yourself. Because the truth is, the best investment you'll ever make isn't in stocks, real estate, or business. It's in you, your skills, your knowledge, your mindset. The more valuable you become, the more opportunities will open up for you. The more you learn, the more you earn, and the sooner you start, the faster your life will change. Look at where your money is going right now. How much of it is being spent on things that make you better? How much of it is going toward improving your skills, growing your knowledge, or putting you in a better position for the future? If you're not setting aside money for books, courses, mentorship, or anything that helps you grow, you are keeping yourself stuck. People will spend thousands on entertainment, but they hesitate when it comes to spending on education. They'll upgrade their phone, but they won't upgrade their mind. They'll spend money to impress others, but won't spend money to improve themselves. And that's exactly why most people stay the same year after year. Financial freedom doesn't happen by accident. It's a choice. It starts with learning how to control your spending. It starts with cutting out unnecessary expenses. It starts with shifting your mindset from being a consumer to being an investor. When you stop wasting money on things that don't matter, you create the space to build something that does. And the moment you start using your money to grow instead of just survive, everything changes. You don't have to be rich to start managing your money better. You don't need a high income to start making smarter financial decisions. You just need discipline. You need the ability to say no to things that don't serve you. You need to stop spending out of habit and start spending with intention. And if you do that for 6 months, you'll be shocked at how much your life can change. Imagine where you could be if, instead of wasting money on things that don't help you, you put that money into something that does. Imagine if you cut back on the unnecessary and use that extra money to learn a new skill, start a side business, or invest in something that builds your future. Imagine how much further ahead you'd be if you stopped letting every paycheck disappear and started making your money work for you. 6 months of financial discipline can do more for your future than 6 years of wishing things were different. Most people will never take control of their finances because they're too caught up in their current lifestyle. They don't want to make sacrifices. They don't want to give up their spending habits. They don't want to delay gratification. But if you keep spending like everyone else, you'll keep living like everyone else, stressed, stuck, and struggling. If you want something different, you have to do something different. You have to be willing to make the tough decisions. You have to be willing to say no to what you want now so you can say yes to what you want most. Start tracking your spending. Start being intentional with every dollar. Cut out what doesn't matter and put your money where it counts. Build your skills. Invest in your growth. Focus on things that move you forward instead of just making you feel good in the moment. If you do that for 6 months, you won't just have more money. You'll have more opportunities, more confidence, and more control over your life. And once you take control of your money, you take control of your future. Number 4, spend time alone to think and plan your next moves. Most people go through life reacting to whatever happens to them. They wake up, check their phones, rush to work, handle whatever comes their way. Get home, tired, watch something to escape for a while, then do it all over again. Days turn into weeks, weeks into months, and before they know it, years have passed and they're still in the same place. No real progress, no clear direction, just the same routine, repeated over and over. And they wonder why they feel stuck. They wonder why nothing ever changes. But the truth is, life doesn't change by accident. It changes when you make a decision. It changes when you take time to stop, think, and plan your next moves. Most people don't realize the power of being alone with their thoughts. In a world full of noise, distractions, and endless notifications, real thinking has become rare. But that's exactly why it's so important. If you want to change your life, if you want to get ahead, you need to spend time alone. Not just scrolling on your phone, not just escaping into entertainment, but truly thinking. Thinking about where you are, thinking about where you want to be. Thinking about what's working, what's not, and what needs to change. You need that time to ask yourself the tough questions. What do I really want? What's stopping me? What's my next move? And most importantly, what am I willing to do about it? Spending time alone isn't about isolating yourself from the world. It's about giving yourself the space to gain clarity. Because if you don't take the time to think, someone else will do the thinking for you. If you don't decide where your life is going, someone else will decide for you. Your job will decide. Your bills will decide. Society will decide. And you'll end up living a life that you never really chose. A life that just happened to you. That's why you have to be intentional. You have to take back control. And it starts by making time to be alone with your thoughts. Some of the most successful people in history had one thing in common. They valued time alone to think. They understood that their best ideas, their biggest breakthroughs, and their clearest decisions came when they stepped away from the noise and gave themselves time to reflect. It wasn't luck, it wasn't talent alone, it was strategy. And it's something anyone can do, but most people won't. Because thinking, real thinking, is uncomfortable. It forces you to face yourself. It forces you to take responsibility. It forces you to admit what's not working and confront the areas where you've been making excuses. That's why most people avoid it. They distract themselves instead. They stay busy instead of being productive. They keep moving, but never in the right direction. And that's why nothing changes. If you want to move forward in life, you need a plan. And if you want a plan that actually works, you need time alone to create it. You need time to sit down, clear your mind, and write things out. You need to see things on paper. You need to map out what steps you need to take, what habits you need to build, and what distractions you need to cut. Because if you don't plan your next moves, you'll keep running in circles. You'll keep doing the same things, expecting different results. And that's the quickest way to stay stuck. Take 1 hour, just 1 hour. No phone, no distractions, no noise. Just you, a pen, and a piece of paper. Write down where you want to be in the next 6 months. Be specific, not just I want to be successful or I want to make more money. That's not a plan, that's a wish. Write down exactly what you want, the number, the goal, the result. Then write down what's stopping you. Write down what you need to do to get there. Write down the habits you need to build, the skills you need to learn, and the sacrifices you need to make. Then, every single day, spend at least 30 minutes alone reviewing that plan. Adjust it, improve it, remind yourself why you started. Remind yourself what you're working toward. Because if you don't remind yourself, distractions will, doubts will, other people's opinions will, and you'll forget. You'll fall back into old patterns. You'll slip back into old habits. That's why consistency is key. It's not enough to plan once and hope for the best. You need to check in with yourself daily. You need to hold yourself accountable. Spending time alone doesn't just help you plan, it helps you grow. It helps you build mental strength. It helps you trust yourself. It helps you develop clarity, confidence, and control over your life. And the more you do it, the more unstoppable you become. You start thinking differently. You start seeing opportunities where others see obstacles. You start making decisions based on strategy, not emotions. And that's when things start to change. The next 6 months of your life can be completely different from the last 6 months. But it won't happen if you just keep going through the motions. It won't happen if you stay stuck in the same routine, reacting instead of planning. It won't happen if you never take the time to sit down, think, and decide what you really want. If you want to change your life, you have to start making time for yourself. You have to start treating your future like it matters. You have to stop letting distractions control you and start taking control of your own mind. Most people won't do this. They'll hear it, they'll agree with it, but they won't actually do it. because it's easier to stay busy. It's easier to keep moving without direction. But that's the difference between those who stay stuck and those who succeed. The ones who succeed take time to think. They take time to plan. They take time to get clear on where they're going. And because of that, they move forward while everyone else stays in the same place. If you want to be in a completely different place 6 months from now, start today. Take 1 hour. Think, plan, get clear on your next moves, and then take action. Do this consistently, and in 6 months, you won't recognize your own life. You'll look back and realize that everything changed the moment you decided to stop reacting and start thinking. Number 5, make sacrifices now for a better life later. Most people want success, but they don't want to give up anything for it. They want to have more, but they're not willing to let go of the habits, distractions, and comforts that are holding them back. And that's exactly why so many people stay stuck. They're waiting for a breakthrough without changing anything. They're hoping life will magically improve without making any sacrifices. But that's not how success works. That's not how life works. If you want something better, you have to give up something now. You have to make sacrifices. You have to trade short-term comfort for long-term success. Because if you don't, you'll look back years from now and realize you wasted your best opportunities. Think about where you are right now. Think about the things you say you want. More money, a healthier body, a better career, more freedom. Now ask yourself, what are you doing every day that's keeping you from that? What are you spending time on that isn't helping you move forward? What are you spending money on that isn't making your future better? What excuses are you making that are stopping you from becoming the person you want to be? Most people never ask themselves these questions. They just go through life doing the same things day after day, expecting something to change. But if you don't change your actions, your results won't change either. The truth is, success is never free. It always costs something. It costs time, it costs effort, it costs discipline, and most importantly, it costs comfort. You have to be willing to give up the things that feel good in the moment, but are holding you back in the long run. Maybe it's late night scrolling on your phone when you could be learning a new skill. Maybe it's spending money on things you don't need when you could be saving or investing in your future. Maybe it's going out every weekend when you could be working on something that will change your life. Maybe it's keeping toxic people around because it's familiar when deep down, you know they're dragging you down. The point is, if you're not where you want to be, there's something you need to give up. There's something that needs to change. Most people never get ahead because they choose what's easy now over what's best later. They take the path of least resistance. They choose entertainment over education. They choose comfort over growth. They choose to fit in rather than stand out. And because of that, their life never improves. They keep repeating the same cycle, the same struggles, the same frustrations, the same paycheck to paycheck life. And the worst part, they don't even realize that they're making a choice. They think they have no control. They think life is just happening to them. But the truth is, every single day you are making decisions that are shaping your future. You are either building the life you want or delaying it. The next 6 months of your life can be completely different. But it starts with making the right sacrifices now. It starts with choosing what's best for your future over what's easy today. It means waking up earlier instead of sleeping in. It means putting in extra hours of work when everyone else is relaxing. It means saying no to distractions, temptations, and anything that's pulling you away from your goals. And yes, it's going to be hard. Yes, it's going to feel uncomfortable. Yes, people might not understand, but the question is, do you want to stay where you are or do you want to change your life? Because you can't have both. Look at anyone who has achieved real success and you'll see a pattern. They sacrificed. They gave up nights out to work on their craft. They gave up comfort to build something meaningful. They gave up being liked by everyone to stand for something greater. They did what most people weren't willing to do, and that's why they live a life most people never will. The good news is, you don't have to be special to do this. You don't need to have the perfect background, the perfect skills, or the perfect timing. What you need is the willingness to give up what's easy so you can have something better. If you're serious about changing your life, sit down and be honest with yourself. What's one thing you know you need to stop doing? What's one thing you know you need to sacrifice? It doesn't have to be something big. It can be as simple as cutting down your screen time, replacing 30 minutes of TV with 30 minutes of reading, or waking up an hour earlier to work on your goals. Small sacrifices, repeated daily, add up to massive results. But if you don't start, nothing will change. Some people will hear this and take action. They'll look at their life, see what's holding them back, and start making changes. And 6 months from now, they'll be in a completely different place. They'll be stronger, wiser, and closer to their goals. But most people, they'll hear this, agree with it, and then go right back to their old habits. Right back to wasting time. Right back to making excuses. Right back to choosing comfort over success. And 6 months from now, they'll be exactly where they are today. The choice is yours. You can keep living the way you are, or you can start making sacrifices now for a better future. The next 6 months are going to pass anyway. The question is, will you be proud of the progress you made, or will you be stuck in the same place, wishing you had started? If you're tired of waiting, tired of hoping, tired of wishing things were different, this is your wake-up call. Make the decision today. Give up what's holding you back. Make the sacrifices that will take you forward, and in 6 months, you won't recognize your own life. Number 6, master time management. Stop wasting your precious hours. If you want to change your life in 6 months, the most powerful thing you can do is master your time. Time is the one resource we all have the same amount of. No one gets more and no one gets less. Doesn't matter who you are, where you come from, or what you've done, we all get 24 hours in a day. And the biggest difference between those who succeed and those who don't is how they use those. Time is something we often take for granted. We think we have all the time in the world, but the reality is we don't. And the truth is, we waste far more time than we realize. We spend hours scrolling on our phones, watching pointless TV shows, and letting our days slip by without even realizing it. But every minute you waste is a minute you can never get back. Every hour spent on things that don't move you forward is an hour you'll never see again. If you want to create something meaningful in your life, you have to take control of your time. You have to be intentional with every single minute. The first thing you need to do is become aware of where your time is going. Most people are completely unaware of how much time they waste on a daily basis. Think about it. How much time do you spend on your phone, on social media, on distractions that don't add anything to your life? Now, I'm not saying these things are inherently bad, but if you're serious about making progress, you need to be honest about where your time is going. You have to take a hard look at your habits and recognize the areas where you're losing valuable time. Once you're aware of where your time is going, it's time to get intentional. You need to stop letting your day happen to you and start creating a plan for how you want to spend it. Successful people don't wake up without a plan. They know exactly what they're going to do, and they've already decided how they'll spend their time before the day even begins. This is how they create success. They take control of their time rather than letting it control them. Time management isn't just about being busy, it's about being productive. Being busy doesn't mean you're getting anything done. You can fill your day with meetings, phone calls, and random tasks, but if you're not focused on the things that truly matter, you're not making progress. The key is to focus on the activities that bring you closer to your goals. Everything else is just noise. One of the biggest time wasters people face is the idea that they need to be perfect before they take action. They wait for the perfect moment, the perfect plan, the perfect situation, but the perfect moment never comes. If you wait for everything to align, you'll be waiting forever. The key is to just start. Start where you are with what you have. You'll learn along the way, and the more you do, the more efficient you'll become. But sitting around waiting for the perfect time is just wasting your precious hours. Another thing that holds people back from mastering their time is the inability to say no. We all have commitments, responsibilities, and people pulling us in different directions. But if you want to make progress, you have to learn to say no. You have to be willing to say no to distractions, to things that don't serve your goals, to anything that takes you away from what truly matters. Saying no is a powerful tool in time management. It's not about being rude or unhelpful. It's about protecting your time and your energy so you can focus on what's most important. If you want to master time management, you also need to get comfortable with routines. Routines are the key to consistency. If you don't have a routine, You're relying on motivation to get things done. And let me tell you, motivation comes and goes. Some days you'll feel fired up, but other days you won't feel like doing anything. That's why routines are so important. They take the decision-making out of your day. When you have a routine, you don't have to think about what you need to do next. You just do it. And over time, your routine becomes a habit. And once something becomes a habit, it becomes effortless. The biggest time waster people face is procrastination. They know what they need to do, but they put it off until later. They wait until they're in the right mood or the right frame of mind to get started. But here's the thing. The right mood never comes. Procrastination is a trap. It feels comfortable in the moment, but it always leads to stress, anxiety, and regret. The key to overcoming procrastination is to take action now. Don't wait for the perfect moment. Don't wait for the right time. Just start. And once you get started, the momentum will carry you forward. Let's talk about the power of prioritization. Successful people know how to prioritize their time. They know that not everything is equally important. Some things matter more than others. The key to mastering time management is learning to focus on the things that will move you forward and letting go of the things that don't. This means being able to say no to things that aren't aligned with your goals. This means cutting out distractions. This means focusing on your highest value activities and putting your energy into them. If you want to make the next 6 months count, you need to learn to prioritize. Mastering time management is not about being perfect. It's about being consistent. It's about being intentional with every minute. It's about taking control of your time rather than letting time control you. If you want to change your life in the next 6 months, time management is the key. Stop wasting your precious hours. Take control of your schedule, focus on what matters, and watch how quickly your life starts to change. Successful and fulfilling months of your life. It's all in your hands. The only thing standing between you and the life you want is how you choose to spend your time. So make it count. Number 7, get your health in check. Energy fuels success. If you want to change your life in 6 months, one of the most important things you can do is get your health in check. Your health is the foundation for everything. It's the fuel that powers your energy, your focus, and your ability to take action. Without good health, everything else becomes much harder. It doesn't matter how smart you are, how talented you are, or how much potential you have. If you don't have the energy to pursue your dreams, then you're never going to get very far. That's why taking care of your body is the key to your success. You can't expect to achieve greatness if you're constantly tired, sluggish, or sick. Success requires energy, and you can't have that energy if you're not prioritizing your health. Your body is your greatest asset, and it deserves to be treated with the care and attention it needs. The better you take care of yourself, the more energy you'll have to do the things that matter. And when you have more energy, you can accomplish more. You can work harder, think clearer, and be more productive. You can take on challenges that once seemed impossible because you'll have the strength and endurance to push through. It all starts with the basics. If you want more energy, you need to focus on getting the basics right. This means eating well, getting enough sleep, and exercising regularly. It sounds simple, but you'd be surprised at how many people overlook these things. They get so caught up in their goals and ambitions that they forget to take care of the very thing that makes all of it possible, their body. Let's start with nutrition. You can't expect to perform at your best if you're putting junk into your body. Food is fuel, and just like you wouldn't put the wrong kind of fuel into a car if you wanted it to run well, you shouldn't put the wrong kinds of food into your body if you want to feel your best. The food you eat affects your energy levels, your mood, and your ability to think clearly. If you're eating processed foods, sugary snacks, and fast food all the time, you're going to feel sluggish and tired. But if you focus on eating nutrient-dense, whole foods like fruits, vegetables, lean proteins, and healthy fats, you'll notice a big difference in how you feel. You'll have more energy, more clarity, and a greater sense of well-being. Nutrition isn't just about what you eat, it's also about when you eat. Many people don't realize how important it is to eat at the right times. Eating regularly throughout the day helps keep your energy levels steady and prevents you from feeling sluggish or fatigued. Skipping meals or going too long without eating can leave you feeling drained and low on energy. If you want to fuel your success, make sure you're eating regularly and giving your body the nutrition it needs to perform at its best. Next, let's talk about sleep. Sleep is one of the most underrated aspects of health. People often think they can push through and be successful while getting little sleep, but that's not the case. Sleep is when your body repairs itself, recharges, and restores your energy. If you're not getting enough sleep, your body isn't able to function at its full potential. You may find yourself feeling more tired, less focused, and less motivated. This affects your performance and your ability to make good decisions. The truth is, you can't perform at your best if you're not getting enough rest. Aim for at least 7-9 hours of quality sleep each night. That may mean making sacrifices, like cutting back on late-night TV or social media. But the benefits will be worth it. When you're well rested, you'll wake up feeling energized, refreshed, and ready to tackle the day. You'll be more productive, more focused, and more driven to succeed. Finally, let's talk about exercise. Exercise is one of the most powerful ways to boost your energy. When you exercise, your body releases endorphins, those feel-good chemicals that help reduce stress and increase feelings of happiness. Exercise also improves your circulation, which helps get more oxygen and nutrients to your muscles and brain. This leads to increased energy levels, better focus, and improved mental clarity. But exercise isn't just about boosting your energy in the short term. Regular exercise also improves your long-term health, reduces your risk of chronic diseases, and helps you maintain a healthy weight. When you take care of your body, you're giving yourself the best chance to succeed in every area of your life. But getting enough exercise doesn't mean you need to spend hours at the gym. The key is consistency. Find an activity you enjoy and commit to doing it regularly. Whether it's going for a walk, doing yoga, or lifting weights, just make sure you're moving your body every day. Even small amounts of exercise can have a big impact on your energy levels and overall health. If you can make exercise a part of your daily routine, you'll notice a significant improvement in your energy, your mood, and your ability to perform at your best. Now, it's not just about the physical side of health. Mental and emotional health are equally important when it comes to your energy levels. Stress is one of the biggest energy drainers there is. When you're stressed out, your body is in a constant state of fight or flight. This drains your energy and makes it harder for you to focus, think clearly, and perform well. Managing stress is key to maintaining high energy levels. There are many ways to manage stress, and it's important to find what works best for you. Some people benefit from meditation, others from deep breathing exercises, and others from simply taking time to relax and unwind. Whatever it is, make sure you're taking time to recharge mentally and emotionally. Your mind needs rest just as much as your body does. The bottom line is this: if you want to achieve success, you need to have the energy to back it up. You can't expect to perform at your best if you're running on empty. That's why getting your health in check is one of the most important things you can do if you want to change your life. Fuel your body with the right nutrition, get enough sleep, exercise regularly, and manage your stress. When you do this, you'll have the energy you need to take on anything that comes your way. And with that energy, there's nothing you can't accomplish. The energy you put into your body fuels your success. And when you have that energy, you can achieve anything you set your mind to. Number 8, measure your progress every week. Adjust and improve. When you're on the path to success, one of the most powerful things you can do is measure your progress every week. This isn't just a little thing, it's a game changer. If you really want to get ahead and make serious strides toward your goals, it's crucial to know where you're standing at all times. But it's not just about tracking what you've accomplished. It's about seeing where you are, understanding what's working, and recognizing what's not. Because the truth is, if you don't measure your progress, how will you know if you're getting closer to where you want to be? And without that clarity, you risk wasting time, effort, and energy on things that just aren't moving the needle. Tracking your progress weekly gives you a snapshot of your journey. It provides that moment of reflection, that opportunity to step back and evaluate where you're at and what needs to be adjusted. It's almost like being your own coach, checking in with yourself to see if you're on the right track or if it's time to make a course correction. This process is essential for growth. After all, how can you expect to improve if you don't know where you're starting from or where? This is one of the most underutilized strategies by so many people. They set their goals, they get excited, they put in the work, but after a while they lose track. They forget to check in on their progress, And before they know it, months have passed without them realizing they're not getting closer to their destination. Or worse, they might feel stuck, without any clue as to why their efforts aren't yielding results. This is where weekly progress checks come in. It's the secret sauce that keeps you moving forward at full speed. When you start measuring your progress, you'll be amazed at the clarity it brings. You'll realize what's working, what's not, and more importantly, you'll be able to make adjustments before it's too late. Think of it like this: when you're driving a car, you don't just set your destination and hope for the best. You check your GPS, you monitor your speed, and you make adjustments when needed. The same principle applies to your goals. When you take the time each week to assess your progress, it's like looking at that GPS to make sure you're heading in the right direction. And if you're veering off course, you'll know exactly when to correct your path. It's not just about looking at the results you've achieved. It's about reflecting on your actions. Were you putting in the right kind of effort? Were you focused enough? Did you stick to your plan, or did you get distracted along the way? Did you stay consistent, or did you allow small setbacks to throw you off track? These are all critical questions you need to ask yourself as you evaluate your progress. It's not about being hard on yourself. It's about being honest. Progress isn't always linear, and that's okay. What matters is that you're consistently moving forward, learning from your mistakes, and making adjustments to ensure that you keep improving. And here's the thing: it's not enough to just track your progress. You need to use that information to adjust and improve. Measuring progress without making changes is like checking the weather forecast and still deciding to go out without an umbrella when you know it's going to rain. It's about taking action, refining your approach, and ensuring that you're continually improving. If you notice that something isn't working, don't just let it slide. Ask yourself why it's not working and what you can do differently. Adjust your approach, make the necessary changes, and keep pushing forward with even more focus and determination. The beauty of measuring progress weekly is that it gives you an opportunity to course correct early. You don't have to wait for months or years to realize that something is off. You can catch things early, make small adjustments, and continue to move forward without wasting precious time. And let me tell you, this makes a huge difference in the long run. Small improvements over time add up to massive results. There's something incredibly motivating about seeing progress, even if it's just a little bit. Each week, you can look back and say, wow, I'm getting better. I'm getting closer to my goal. That kind of momentum is powerful. When you measure your progress, you're not just checking off boxes. You're also fueling your drive and passion. You're creating a sense of accomplishment. And that sense of accomplishment keeps you going. It fuels you to do more, to push harder, and to keep striving for greater success. But here's the trick: you can't be afraid of the truth. Measuring progress means facing reality. If you're not where you want to be, that's okay. It's part of the process. But don't hide from it. Don't bury your head in the sand pretending that everything is fine when it's not. Take a hard look at your progress and be willing to make the tough decisions. If you've been doing the wrong things, or if your strategies haven't been working, then it's time to change them. And don't worry about making mistakes along the way. The only failure is failing to learn and adapt. Over time, as you consistently track and adjust your progress, you'll get better and better at making those adjustments. You'll develop a sense of what works and what doesn't. And as you do, you'll find that you're achieving more and more of your goals faster than ever before. The key is consistency. Keep measuring your progress, keep adjusting, and keep improving. Every week is another chance to get better, to grow, and to move closer to your dreams. So commit to measuring your progress every week. It doesn't have to be a huge time-consuming task. Just take a few moments to reflect on your week, to evaluate what you've done, and to decide what adjustments you need to make. It's a simple habit that can completely transform the way you approach your goals. With regular progress checks, you'll stay on track, you'll learn faster, and you'll be able to keep pushing forward with confidence. Remember, success isn't a destination, it's a journey. And if you measure your progress every week, you'll be on that journey to greatness every single day. Number 9, cut one comfort that's keeping you weak. When it comes to building a stronger, more resilient version of yourself, there's one thing that often stands in the way: comfort. Comfort, in its many forms, has a way of creeping into our lives without us even realizing it. It's seductive. It whispers to us, telling us that everything is fine, that we've done enough, that we don't need to push any further. But here's the truth: Comfort is the silent killer of progress. It's the thing that keeps you stuck, keeps you from stepping into your true potential, and holds you back from achieving everything you're capable of. And if you want to get ahead, if you want to build the life you've always dreamed of, then one of the most powerful things you can do is to cut one comfort that's keeping you weak. You see, comfort isn't always obvious. It doesn't always look like sitting on the couch all day. Sometimes comfort shows up in subtler ways. It can be found in the habits we form, the people we surround ourselves with, or even the small decisions we make every day. It might be the habit of hitting the snooze button on your alarm clock, or the comfort of staying in a job you don't like simply because it's secure. It could be avoiding a difficult conversation or putting off starting that project you've been thinking about for months. It's not necessarily about being lazy, it's about avoiding discomfort. And the truth is, discomfort is where growth happens. If you're not willing to step out of your comfort zone and face that discomfort, you'll never reach the next level. Think about it for a moment. All of the breakthroughs in your life have come from moments of discomfort. When you made the decision to push yourself just a little bit harder, when you stepped into the unknown, when you faced your fears head on, that's when things changed. Those uncomfortable moments were the catalyst for your growth, for your success. And yet so many of us run from that discomfort. We avoid it at all costs. But let me tell you something important. The longer you stay in your comfort zone, the weaker you become. Comfort lulls you into complacency, and complacency is the enemy of progress. This is why cutting one comfort is so powerful. It's not about making a massive change overnight. It's about identifying one area where you're staying comfortable and deciding that you're going to cut it out of your life. It's about making the conscious decision to stop avoiding discomfort and to start leaning into it. Maybe for you, it's the comfort of staying in your current routine. Maybe it's the comfort of procrastination. Maybe it's the comfort of saying no to things that challenge you. Whatever it is, it's time to cut it out. When you do, you'll start to feel the shift. Now, here's the kicker. Cutting out comfort is going to be hard. It's not going to feel natural. In fact, it might even feel uncomfortable at first. That's the point. The discomfort you feel is a sign that you're doing something right. When you push yourself past the point of comfort, you start to build strength. You develop resilience. You build the mental toughness that's required to succeed in any area of your life. Every time you decide to cut out a little bit of comfort, you're training yourself to be tougher, to be more disciplined, and to be more focused. And that strength is going to pay off in ways you can't even imagine yet. Think about how much better you'll feel when you take that first step, when you wake up without hitting the snooze button, when you make that phone call you've been avoiding, when you stop making excuses and start taking action. That's when you begin to break free from the chains of comfort. It's when you start realizing that you're in control, that you don't need to rely on comfort to feel secure. You can create your own sense of security by getting comfortable with discomfort. The more you do this, the more confident you'll become, and that confidence will carry over into everything else you do. You might think that staying comfortable is the safe option. You might think that if you avoid the tough stuff, life will be easier. But in reality, avoiding discomfort is what keeps you weak. It keeps you from growing, from reaching your full potential. And the truth is, the longer you avoid discomfort, the harder it becomes to break free from it. The longer you stay in your comfort zone, the more it becomes a prison. It traps you in a cycle of mediocrity. When you choose to cut that comfort, you open the door to a world of possibilities. You're saying to yourself, I'm done with being weak. I'm ready for the challenge. I'm ready for more. And that's the kind of mindset that propels you forward. That's the kind of mindset that leads to success, to growth, and to living a life that's truly worth living. Now, I know what you're thinking, but what if it's hard? What if I don't want to do it? That's normal. Change is uncomfortable. Growth is uncomfortable. But that's exactly why it's so powerful. Every time you step outside of your comfort zone, you're building muscle, not just in your body, but in your mind, in your spirit. And with every small step you take, you become more capable of handling bigger challenges. You become more resilient. And when you face the bigger challenges in life, because they will come, you'll be ready. You'll have the mental and emotional strength to handle whatever comes your way. So if you want to get stronger, if you want to level up your life, start by cutting out one comfort that's keeping you weak. It doesn't matter how small it is. It could be something as simple as waking up earlier, saying no more often, or eliminating a bad habit. The key is to make a conscious decision to stop avoiding discomfort. Because once you do, you'll begin to transform into the person you've always wanted to become. A person who doesn't need comfort to succeed because they're strong enough to create their own success. Remember, the magic happens when you decide to do the hard things. You don't grow by staying comfortable. You grow by stepping into the discomfort, by challenging yourself, and by pushing your limits. So go ahead, cut out that one comfort. It might be tough at first, but you'll be amazed at how much stronger, more focused, and more capable you'll become. And as you keep pushing past your comfort zones, you'll realize that the life you've always dreamed of isn't out of reach. It's just waiting for you to take that next step. Number 10, prove yourself right. Make the next 6 months unforgettable. There comes a time in your life when you have to stop waiting for things to change and start making things happen. A time when you have to stop doubting yourself, stop questioning whether you're capable, and start proving. Proving not to the world, not to your friends, not to the people who never believed in you, but proving to yourself that you were right all along. That deep down you knew you were meant for more. That all those dreams, all those ideas, all those plans you've had, they weren't just fantasies, they were real. And now, you have 6 months to turn them into something unforgettable. You see, 6 months is enough time to change everything. It's enough time to build momentum, to transform your habits, to make undeniable progress. It's enough time to prove that you were never the problem. It was just the lack of consistent effort, the distractions, the self-doubt that slowed you down. But if you decide right now that these next 6 months will be different, everything can shift. The way you wake up in the morning, the way you carry yourself, the way you take action, it can all change starting today. Most people won't take this challenge. They'll hear it, they'll get inspired for a few minutes, and then they'll go back to their old patterns. They'll tell themselves they'll start tomorrow. And that's exactly why most people stay stuck, because they keep pushing the start line further and further away. But what if you didn't? What if you made the decision right now that the excuses stop today? That no matter how you've been living, no matter what's happened in the past, you're drawing the line in the sand. You're saying enough. I'm done with waiting. I'm done with being average. I'm done with letting time slip away. That kind of decision, one made with true conviction, can change your life forever. The next 6 months will pass whether you take action or not. The time will move, the weeks will fly by, and soon you'll either look back and feel proud of the work you put in, or you'll feel regret knowing you let another half year go to waste. And regret is painful, regret is heavy. But do you know what feels even worse? Knowing that you had the power to change, but didn't. That's what keeps people up at night. Not the mistakes they made, but the chances they didn't take. So what does making these next 6 months unforgettable actually mean? It means you stop letting distractions control you. You stop letting comfort win. You stop giving energy to things that don't serve you. It means you get up earlier, you work harder, you show up every single day even when you don't feel like it. It means you stay focused on your goals even when the motivation fades. Even when no one's watching, even when it feels like nothing is happening yet, because something is happening. Every single day you stay consistent. Every single day you push forward, you're getting stronger. You're becoming the person who deserves the success you're chasing. And here's the truth. No one is going to come and save you. No one is going to hand you the life you want. It's on you. That's a hard pill to swallow for some people, but it's also the most freeing realization you can have. Because if it's on you, that means you don't have to wait for permission. You don't have to wait for the right moment. You don't have to wait for the perfect plan. You just have to start. And if you do that, if you commit fully to these next 6 months, your life will not look the same by the time you're done. Think about what's possible. In 6 months, you could be in the best shape of your life if you start working on your fitness today. You could have a brand new skill mastered, a business started, or a completely different mindset just by showing up consistently. You could be living with more confidence, more purpose, more discipline. But it starts with the small choices. The choice to wake up earlier. The choice to put in extra effort. The choice to say no to distractions. The choice to keep going, even on the hard days. Nobody said it was going to be easy. Change is never easy. That's why most people avoid it. But if you're willing to do what most people won't, you'll get results that most people never will. And the beautiful thing about discipline is that the more you practice it, the stronger it gets. At first, you'll have to force yourself, but then something happens. You start seeing progress. You start realizing that you're in control. You start feeling that power inside of you that's been there all along. And when you feel that, there's no stopping you. Now, here's the secret to making this work. You have to make a promise to yourself. Not just a casual, half-hearted, I'll try, a real, unbreakable promise. You have to tell yourself, no matter what happens, no matter how I feel, no matter what obstacles come my way, I will not quit. That's the difference between people who succeed and people who don't. The successful ones don't stop when it gets hard. They don't stop when the excitement wears off. They push through, and because they push through, they win. So if you're serious about this, if you really want to make the next 6 months unforgettable, then commit. Right now, not tomorrow, not next week, now. Decide that you're done playing small. Decide that you're done letting fear win. Decide that you're done with mediocrity, and then go prove yourself right. Because deep down, you've always known you were capable of more. You just needed a reason to show it. Well, this is it. This is your time. Make the next 6 months count, not just for the results, not just for the success, but for you, for the person you know you can become, for the life you know you can build. No more excuses, no more waiting, no more wishing, just action, just discipline, just results. And when 6 months have passed, when you look back at everything you've done, you'll smile because you'll know that you proved yourself right. 6 months, that's all it takes to completely change your life. Not 10 years, not 5, just 6 months of focus, discipline, and real effort. But most people won't do it. They'll listen, they'll agree, they'll get excited for a moment, and then they'll go right back to their old habits. They'll keep wasting time, making excuses, waiting for the right moment that never comes. And 6 months from now, they'll still be stuck, still frustrated, still wondering why nothing is changing. But that doesn't have to be you. Right now, you have a choice. You can either stay the same, or you can take control. You can make a decision today that the next 6 months of your life will be different. That you won't let distractions pull you off track. That you won't quit just because things get hard. That you will stay disciplined even on the days when you don't feel like it. Because the truth is, 6 months from now, you're going to be one of two people. Either you're going to be proud of yourself, looking back at all the progress you made, or you're going to be filled with regret, wishing you had started today. And the difference between those two people, one of them took action and the other didn't. So which one will you be? The choice is yours. Start today. Make the next 6 months count. And when you look back, you'll see it was worth it.